Welcome to the Chain Out Podcast with your hosts, Jeremy and Daryl.
Hey everybody, welcome to the Chain Out Podcast. It's season 3, episode 929. We're back at you, in your face on YouTube, in your ears on the audio platforms, and excited to be talking to you again. And I think I'm still running on a bit of a high here, Daryl. Last week we talked about, we had just spent the weekend at She's Up First, got to be part of that epic tournament, got to volunteer and have a great time. Well, last week we got to do something cool too.
We did, yeah. We had a previous guest of the show. Earlier on in the season, we interviewed Discraft sponsored player, Canadian MPO, Olympic figure skater, Trent Michaud.
Yeah. We got to chat with him. He was quite the interview. It was cool. That was our first ever Olympic athlete we've had as a guest.
I'm pretty much guessing that our Olympic athlete quota has been filled.
You don't think we're going to get another one on?
I mean, maybe. If there's any Olympic athletes out there that throw frisbees, then hit us up and we'll interview you.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Well, we ended up... he was in town for Stars on Ice. They were doing a show in Edmonton, and I got tickets for the event. I went with my wife, Jen, and then my mom and dad. We all went down there.
Yeah.
And, Trent and Leo were great to see. Such amazing skaters. It was kind of cool to see him doing his thing on the ice with Leah.
Yeah.
And just like the amazing strength that this guy has, and all of them do, to hold a skater above your head with one arm.
And balance, to be able to do that. Like, if someone said to you right now, pick this person up and hold them above your head with one arm, you would struggle, but maybe you could do it. Oh, okay, now put on ice skates and do it while you're skating around on ice.
That's right. And then don't sleep on the person being held in the air, because the fitness that they must have and the bravery, in my mind, to allow this person to put you in the air and then to hold that form so that they don't. Like, how do you keep your body in that shape for that time? Like, it's crazy.
Yeah.
But not only were the two of them there, but there was Elvis Stoico. Do you remember him?
I know the name.
Yeah, so Elvis Stoico was there. And
Wow.
and I said to Trent, I said, do you think that maybe the most popular thing Googled right after Elvis Stoico shows up on the ice is just, how old is Elvis Stoico? They should just put it up on the big screen.
Yeah.
But apparently
Did you Google it?
Oh, of course I did. Yeah. And it was like my phone was crashing, maybe because everybody was looking for the same thing. But it turns out he's 54 years old and he's still skating. He's not doing the triple axles and stuff.
Right.
But he's still doing, like, when they stand on the spot and they spin like a top?
Pirouette.
Is that what that is?
I think it's a pirouette.
But he was going fast and he was like doing these kind of, he's doing it. If I was 54 years old and still skating at that level, which I don't skate at that level now, so I don't know.
Yeah, that's insane.
Yeah. But I guess, that wasn't the only thing. He was in Edmonton, and then the next day he was heading to Kelowna, but he didn't have to fly out right away, so we got to do a thing.
What happened? You reached out to him?
Yeah.
You said, hey, if you're in town for a little while, let's go and hit up a disc golf course.
That's right.
Yeah, so we reached out to him. He said, yeah, he's got some time. You went and picked him up.
Mm-hmm.
We headed out to Bailey's.
Yeah, out to Bailey's Disc Golf Course. We put it in our Patreon. That's another perk of being one of our Patreon members, is they were aware of this. It was a ability to come out and join us on the card, and Brendan from BR Disc Golf joined us on that.
Yeah.
And we played the whites, and we were just laughing here a little bit before the podcast started, is that we're like, the whites have certainly changed since last year.
Yeah. We always thought that we used to play the whites out there. When we got out there this time, we played the whites. We were walking up to a tee pad. No. The whites is on this tee pad. Oh, did they readjust the layout? No, apparently we've just been playing reds all this time.
Yeah. So we played the whites, and you're probably going to ask yourselves, how did we do against?
How did we do?
Yeah. Well, I think Trent was being a nice guest.
Yeah.
And also he'd never played the course before, so he was kind of getting himself all settled, and he had figure skated the night before.
Yeah.
But after 9 holes, I can say, I was one stroke away from Mr. Trent Michaud, and then I think he put his foot on the gas, and I'm going to say I didn't, and he just blew us away by the end of the 18.
I would say it wasn't so much that he put his foot on the gas, which he did. I think maybe you slammed it into reverse.
There was that. It started with an OB shot and it just went downhill from there. But the cool thing is we did get to the end, and you, me, and Brendan were all tied with a plus 11, a respectable, I think it was like 160 something rated on the whites, which we thought we played, but we didn't before. And we took it to a playoff hole and all played 18 again, and got my first win of the year, boys. Got my first win of the year there, listeners.
I mean, really. Yeah, if you want to take it in a playoff,
Well, but here's something to be said, which was a nice thing that I noticed from all of us playing, was in that playoff, you did something that you wouldn't normally do. And on hole 18, it's kind of, there's hazard all around it. It's almost like, what is it? Just a long keyhole type hole.
Yeah.
And you blew it through the back.
That surprised me.
Yeah. Like that's not what we did last year.
No.
And that was from the whites, not from the reds.
And I did that on actual hole 18. And then when we did the playoff, I did the same thing again. So it wasn't a mistake, or it wasn't like a fluke. I did it twice.
Yep.
So, I just need to disc down a little bit, I think.
That's it. Those muscles, all that working out you've been doing or something like that.
Yeah, exactly.
But
well, we should say thanks to Trent for coming out, right?
Yeah. Thank you, Mr. Michaud. It was great. And if you ever get a chance to either see him skate or play a round of disc golf with him, take him up on it. He's a great guy, and I think it was a lot of fun.
Oh, we had a lot of fun. Yeah, and he was, like you said, he was so gracious with his time. Got some photos at the end. Obviously, he didn't have any discs with him, but we would have bought some if we did.
He had his one, but he wasn't parting with that. That was one of his bread and butter discs.
I don't think he ever did get his Luna back, did he? We should have waited until the card behind us came through, but we never actually, I think we just forgot about it. Anyway, sorry, just thought
there
of
we
that.
go. Yep.
Too late now.
Gives us a reason to see him again. We'll go pick it out of the lost and found.
There you go. Well, we've chatted previously on the podcast about the World Flying Discs Federation, or the WFDF World Team Disc Golf Championships, and how every 2 years Canada sends a team to compete on the world stage. Well, tonight's guest went to Australia as a supporter and will be heading to Lithuania as part of Team Canada. Chris Brown will be joining us in about 15 minutes.
That's right. And we want to take a quick second to shout out the PDGA Canada group, Brian Henniger and Kara Hovius, and all of the people who helped make PDGA Canada happen. They also helped make this podcast happen, and we appreciate their support this year to do that. So thank you to them. What do we think, Daryl? Is it tournament review time?
Let's do one. Yeah. This past weekend, there were 13 different events, Jeremy, happening all across Canada. In Edmonton, we had our very own Wally O'Valley put on a scramble shots clinic out at Hermitage Park. There was a Glitch World qualifier out in Sault Ste. Marie, Ontario. Edgar Hartling.
We know that guy.
Yeah. He hosted a CWE Ladies Can Rocket event out in St. John's, Newfoundland.
Did you get it? Get it?
I got it. I got
Rocket. I don't know if the listeners, did you get it, listeners?
Yeah. If you have to point it out, it wasn't funny. And a Nico's Drive Juniors Only event took place in Guelph, Ontario.
You bet.
There was also one B-tier tournament, and that was the Muskoka Open out in Huntsville, Ontario. That's how you have to say it.
The Muskoka Open.
This was a 2-day, 3-round tournament with 130 players. Players got to play 2 different courses. The Limberlost Links, which was redesigned in 2025 and has become one of the tougher courses. The changes are helping the course climb the rankings because in 2026, it's rated number 67 in Canada.
Oh.
Yeah. The other course was Wolf Track at Bondi Cottage Resort. This is a 20-hole course and has been an Ontario favorite since 2022. And it even has its own pro shop on site. It was rated 29th best in Canada in 2026. Our longtime longtime listeners may remember that Thomas Gilbert, of course, threw the historical Muskoka layup there a couple years ago at the Ontario Championships.
Well, you said the Muskoka Open. Do you have to say the Muskoka layup?
No, it doesn't go.
Doesn't have the same rhyme to it.
This tournament was an Ontario Provincials qualifier and allowed division winners to earn points towards the Ontario Club Championships. We reached out to the tournament director, Spencer Young, and Thomas Gilbert as well. He had a few things to say. On the MPO side, Mr. Thomas Gilbert was playing. We know he has been working hard on his university courses, and being his first tournament of the year, it makes sense to think that he would be a little bit rusty.
Yeah, I could see it.
Yeah. No, that wasn't how it turned out.
No.
Thomas shot a 10.38 -11
in round one, which gave him what I was seeing was a 6-stroke lead over Calvin Rurda, who
Yeah.
he met last year. And then I think, what was it? Round two, Thomas, James Atkinson, and Chris Toe, they ended up sharing the hot round, which was a -4, which was, a little more pedestrian.
Right.
1,002 rated.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, and how'd round three go?
Round three, they headed over to the Limberlost Links, where Thomas scored a -2, and that was rated at 1037.
Okay, wait.
Yeah.
What's going on here?
You're right, exactly. So a -11 at Wolf Tracks, that's a 1038.
Okay.
A -2 at Limberlost Links, a 1037.
Something's not computing.
That must be one tough course. Thomas told us that the weather might have had a factor as they got all 4 seasons on the Sunday. Congrats to Thomas as he finished the tournament with a -17, earning himself his first win of the season. A quick shout out to Thomas Hums, who scored the elusive eagle on hole 18. The only one all weekend by any of the MPOs.
Yeah, and if I take us over to the FPO side, there were 8 competitors that started the tournament, but unfortunately, Daryl, only 6 of them made it to the end.
Oh,
I don't
okay.
know what's happening, weather, tough course, who knows.
Yeah.
Colleen McInnes, Alexandra Paletto, and Alicia Hums, they were the front runners, not surprising. In round one, Alicia shot a 972 rated -3, which included a turkey of birdies and gave her a 2-stroke lead over Alex Paletto going into round two. Then, in that second round, Colleen McInnes shot the hot round and was tied for second with Alex, while Alicia extended her lead a little bit. She was up to 5 strokes on the second place players.
Yeah.
And then in the third round, Colleen shot the hot round again, but it wasn't enough to catch Alicia, who took the win with a 940 rated tournament, 23 shots above her rating. So congrats to Alicia on taking that one down. But I think really it's a big shout out to anyone who went out to this event and actually made it through to the end. Because to give you an example, I looked at the MA40 layout, something that we can relate to here.
Okay.
And on the first day, just to give you some perspective, they played an 8,658 foot long layout where they climbed 20 floors of elevation on 20 holes, which was a par 75.
Whew.
And they did that twice in
my
the same
goodness.
day. So yeah, just getting through this one was a big thing.
Yeah. Well, remember, if you have an event you've organized or you've participated in and want to hear us mention it on the podcast, let us know by sending us a message to our socials. Instagram is our best place, or Facebook. Or you can email us, chainoutpodcast@gmail.com.
That's right. And if we head over to the Pro Tour, they were down in Texas last weekend at the Barbasol. I put the whole title in. Are you ready?
Okay, go for it.
The Barbasol Open at Austin, presented by the Hampton Inn Home 2 Suites Austin East. There's a lot to it. This one was a DGPT Plus event, which meant it had 4 rounds with a cut after 3. We didn't have any Canadians down on the MPO side, but it was quite an epic story as Paul Ulibarri won his first ever event in a major event or elite series event. He's been looking for this for 15 years, and he did it by going off in the finals and scoring 6 birdies in a row on the back nine, tying himself up with Ezra Robinson for first place. They went into a 1-hole playoff where Yuli, he did it.
It was amazing.
He was clutch. You watched it?
Oh, yeah, I watched it.
I watched a lot of the highlights. I didn't
Yeah.
get to see the whole play-by-play,
Right.
but I heard it's another holy shot moment where you got to watch the whole round to really get the feel.
Yeah. No, absolutely. And then you got to watch it. Just go back and watch the Joe Mez coverage just to hear his acceptance speech at the end. Because, obviously he's obviously good with the words. He does the commentary. They interview other people and they kind of I don't know. It just feels like it's a speech that they're thankful that they won the event. For him, it just meant so much more.
Right.
And go back and watch it.
Yeah. And then if you look over on the FPO side, Owen Scoggins also went off in the final round, shot the hot round with a -10, squeezed herself past Silva Saarinen by 1 stroke, and that's how she did it. That's how she got to the win. We did have 2 of our Canadians down there competing, and both of them made the cut to the final day. Sophia Donica finished T21 with, you got to do this one for me. You always say it better than I do.
Elizra.
Middling. There you go. Elizra Middling and Rebecca Dawn finished tied 19th with Shelley May Lai. Sophia played her best round on the final day, shooting a 974 rated -3, which started with a turkey of birdies. Nice way to start a round.
Yeah.
On the first 3 holes. And then Rebecca played a pretty steady tournament, shooting even round 1, -1 round 2, -1 round 3, even round 4. So, doesn't get much better than that.
Consistent.
Yeah. Kept her in the cash. So one of our Chain Out listeners was down there, Luke Glidall, we know him, and you've probably met him. He's down out of Calgary, and he was living his best life, and I know about that life from my Jonesboro days. If I didn't tell you, I caddied for Sofia Donica one time.
Oh, you caddied for Sofia Donica?
I don't know if you ever
should
heard
mention it a bit more.
Yeah. So Luke got his chance to caddy for a pro down there, and he also told us a nice story about meeting Dallas Garber and Chatty Chad, and having some fun with them, and that was great to hear.
Yeah.
So the pros have a week off tour before they head back out to the West Coast Swing, another DGPT Plus 4-round event. That's going to be the 2026 OTB Open presented by MVP Disc Sports in Stockton, California. We don't have any Canadian MPOs there, but Sophia and Rebecca will be back down there representing Canada on the FPO side. And that brings us to our sponsors, Daryl.
Yeah.
We got 2 awesome sponsors who are supporting Chain Out Podcast this year. We got BR Disc Golf. Brendan, when we were talking to him over the weekend, he's got a ton of Discraft that came in, and he's working on getting that up on the website so you can get access to that. But also, we mentioned it last week. We got to mention it again because it's kind of a pre-order thing. Is not only is there a new BR Disc Golf jersey, there's also a new Edga jersey out this year.
Yeah.
And 2 Chain Out jerseys.
Absolutely.
There's a Daryl jersey and a Jeremy jersey, whether you like the Flower Power or you like the Cool Blue Mountain Breezy. They're both available. So you can check those out. And as always, use the code CHAINOUT at checkout and you're going to support us. But you can also use the code CHAINOUTJERSEY on top of that if you want to catch up with us in the Edmonton area, and we can deliver it to you for no extra charge.
So you're saying one is like bright and colorful, light, kind of like the nice like mint green shirt that I'm wearing.
Yeah.
And then the other one is like a nice pale blue, kind of like very monochromatic.
A little blend in.
Just a blend in.
Let your personality do the shining.
Can you tell whose jersey is which? Yeah.
Yeah, and if we look at our other sponsor, Disc Republic, well, Jason and the team there, they're supporting us this year. And when I checked in with him, he said some of the items that are really flying off the shelf, surprise, surprise, are also Discraft. It's the 6-Claw ESP Buzz SS, which has the 2026 PDGA World Championship Edition out. It's going quite well as we talked about it once before, those sweet-looking Spirit of Detroit Mega Glow 2026 World's Edition Lunas. Mm-hmm. And like you said, Trent was throwing some Lunas. He's a Discraft guy.
Yeah.
Yeah, and he was him and Brendan talked a lot about it. So but yeah, definitely support our sponsors, use the code CHAINOUT, and that helps us, and we really appreciate it.
Absolutely. Well, we had a giveaway a couple of weeks ago now when we interviewed Clea and Chance from Smith Lake Farm. Clea was kindly going to donate one of the discs. We had a winner. Jack Bing was the winner. He was from YouTube.
We gave him over 2 weeks.
He reached out. He has not responded. So we're going to say, sorry, Jack, you did not win. We're going to go to our next closest winner. And that was... Congrats, Sam, in the chat. Sam, you have won the 118 gram Buzz. We're gonna make sure We're gonna make sure that gets to you. The next giveaway after we're kind of going through a little bit of a time here, but the next giveaway will be this FPO signed Boss. It'll be coming up very shortly. Stay tuned on our socials. You'll get to see that.
Mm-hmm.
After this episode, be sure to head over.
We'll be right back. If I felt like you kind of were setting us up for that.
Okay.
After these messages.
After the episode, be sure to head over to Patreon and get the free link to join us for our Around the Basket episode. And this week is going to be our first Fantasy Picks episode. Yes. Jeremy, I'm going to give you a little teaser. Our Patreon member Dylan Froelich is going to be joining us for our first picks for the Spring Runoff and Foxwood Open.
Yeah, it's a double this one, which is always a great way to start the picks, is to do 2 tournaments.
Yeah. Okay. Ready?
I'm ready. Look at that.
If that doesn't get you fired up.
Man, that's just like, it feels like jock jams or something
Yeah,
that got me
exactly.
going.
Yeah, remember that? Don't forget, you can head over to our website, chainoutpodcast.com. Make your own picks. We have a whole bunch of prizes this year, Jeremy.
Yes.
First, second, and third prizes. We're going to run the event all year. There's no midterm break.
Get in.
It's a new season. There's new points. There's new scoring. I can't wait.
Is there elusive eagles this year?
No, there will be eagles, but just not the elusive eagles.
Not the elusive ones.
No.
They'll be the standard pedestrian eagles.
Exactly.
Awesome. Well, that kind of wraps up the top of show. We got to get to our guest. Do we have a guest?
You know, our guest has been pacing backwards and forwards. They've been making sure they look nice. They've been prepping their hair. They're ready to come on.
Yeah, well, this guest always looks nice. So here we go with the intro. Tonight's guest is a regular on the MPO scene in Ontario. He already has 6 tournaments under his belt this year and has been top 10, Daryl, in all of them. He's been selected as part of Team Canada for the WFDF tournament happening in Lithuania. Join us in welcoming Chris Brown to the podcast.
Hey, Chris, how you doing?
I'm good. How are you guys?
We're doing fantastic. Thanks for joining us. It's great to see you again. I think the last time we had a chance was the last day of Nationals before we all headed out.
That's at Hope Goat there.
Yeah, out there at Hope Goat. Yeah. How was your off season?
It was pretty good. The winter in Ontario, I'm not sure how it was in Edmonton, was awful.
Yes.
It was snow and cold, and then snow and cold, and then it didn't stop us. We kept going.
Nice. Yeah. Well, we know that you're located out there, like you said, in Ontario. You're in Burlington. What is the disc golf scene like in that area? We know that, and we've seen it in the chat. We've had some representatives already. We know Bronte is one of the well-known courses in the area. Is that your go-to course?
Bronte is 5 minutes from my house.
Oh,
So, yeah.
I'm guessing you play it quite a bit.
Yeah, I was there cutting grass today, actually.
Oh, wow.
okay. So you're on the course maintenance team too. You're not just a player of the course. Is that kind of like a community effort, or is it all you?
Yeah, so for Bronte itself, we do all the maintenance. We supply everything for the course. The provincial park actually, they kind of have a hands-off thing about it, which is good for us because then we kind of get free reign to do as we will. But it does mean that we have to put in a lot of man hours to maintain the course.
Okay.
And all that with a push mower.
No, not a push mower. Like we upgraded 4 years ago to like a proper John Deere zero turn.
Okay.
So it's an hour. I think the last time I did it with the old mower, it took us about 16 hours to cut the course. Now it's about 8.
Okay.
And eight still sounds a lot.
That's a full
but
day.
Cutting it in half is amazing. Yeah.
Yeah.
And how long does it take for the excitement of being on one of those zero turn mowers to wear off? Is it like a week, or is it hour 2 and you're like, this isn't as exciting as I thought it was going to be?
It's it's peaceful. Putting your favorite podcast and just keep going, and we're good to go.
Oh, sweet.
I like doing it, but it is a lot of work.
Yeah. What is it about the course? I mean, we've got, I think you've brought every representative with you. The chat is full of Bronte supporters. What is it about Bronte that makes it so enjoyable?
We have a great community. So we run 2 different league days. We have a Sunday doubles league, and then we run a Tuesday night tags league, and we also have the Ontario. I want to get it right because Oz will get mad at me. The Ontario Tour, I think, is what we call it. I should know this, but I don't. And we do like a point series. So if you come in top 3 in your division, you get a point. And whoever gets the most points at the end of the year kind of wins the title. There's nothing to gain from it, but you do get recognition. And we have one every single year. So we have a very big touring. A very big touring community. We go to tournaments together. We have all different age groups and women, juniors, everything to help us get those points. You can blame Colleen. Colleen has been screaming in our chat for everybody to come in, so that's why.
Hey, the no blame. We're happy to have them all.
Yeah,
for sure.
absolutely.
Well, that's it. So then, we do know that, and I'm kind of scared to say it with all these Bronte people in the chat, but we've heard when we've been out in Ontario, we hear people going like "White Spruce" and saying things like that. Does Bronte have something that they call out or anything like that?
I think Tobin tried for a bit, but there's just no taking over from those sprucers. They are, how do I say this politely? They're rambunctious.
They've got lots of energy.
Yeah.
Oh, you know what? It might be kind of like my teachers told me when I was a kid. Jeremy's a really good guy. He just needs to settle down and quit bothering everybody. Is that kind of like what the White Spruce group might be?
It.
And I say that I am a White Spruce Club member, and that was my first course I played. So I used to be a sprucer, per se.
Okay. So obviously White Spruce is another course, Bronte. What other courses are in your rotation? Is there other courses you get a chance to get out and play as well?
I mean, we have so many courses within 45 minutes of me that I can say a lot, but primarily we play Christie Lake a lot, White Spruce. There's a course in Etobicoke called Centennial Park I played a lot, but they pretty much demoed it all to build soccer fields for FIFA. So we lost that course a year and a half ago, 2 years ago.
Okay.
But then you can go anywhere. You can go Winter Farms. You can go Fireman's Park. You got all Paris, Brantford, Guelph. You can go in every direction. Within 40 minutes, you can find a top tier 18-hole course.
Wow.
Gotcha.
Spoiled for choice.
Yeah.
So it must be nice to have that many courses that close by.
Well, for sure. And I've had a chance to play Christie Lake. That one is fantastic. I was kind of in the Hamilton area at that point, not quite. And then I went south and I played, it was on a campground. I think it was La Fortuna. Is that
La Fortuna, yeah.
Yeah, okay. So I played that one. That one's a pretty nice one for being a little Scooby-Doo, like on an old abandoned campground.
La Fortuna is not on an old campground. Oh, I guess it is. It used to be like, I guess so. I guess it is a kind of, like the amphitheater stuff in there in the forest. But it's more of just a community park now.
Gotcha.
That's actually one of my favorite courses in the area. It's so underplayed and underutilized. They had one tournament. When they first put it in, they had provincials there, and then they never ran another tournament there. So
it's kind of like one of those best-kept secrets or something.
Kind of, yeah. Yeah, everybody knows about it, but it just doesn't get played competitively.
Oh, there you go. Well, Chris, we kind of got you warmed up, eased you in a bit, but now we got to get to the point to find out how you got into disc golf, but we're not going to do it the normal way. You know that. Chain Out Podcast, we come up with a crazy origin story for you. It's based on a movie. Listeners can try and guess which movie it is, and then we'll see if I got anything right in it. So sit back, relax, and here we go. So maybe back in the mid-2010s, you were just a kid living in a small-town life in Caledonia and trying to figure out your calling. One day, one of your buddies, was it Ronnie or maybe Jefferson, told you about disc golf. One throw at the Vibram Birdie Bash and you were hooked. You quickly became a rookie sensation, a real maverick out on the course, throwing lines no one could imagine. When your friends weren't looking, you'd surprise them by sending one just over their head. You called it buzzing the tower. You were determined to become the best of the best when it came to flying discs, but all you needed now was a wingman or woman. One day when you were chasing down one of your drives that skipped out onto the road, a car honked at you. Surprised, you turned around and saw this cool cat. Her name was Colleen. The two of you hit it off right away, and since the first meeting involved a honking car, it made sense that her nickname be Goose. Together, the two of you started pushing each other to new heights, traveling, competing, and then earning your spot on Team Canada. That was when you finally realized that you satisfied your need for speed. Now, maybe that is not quite how you got into disc golf, so why don't you tell us how it really happened?
I see you've done your research, because that's somebody's been telling secrets.
Which was it all right? That was just the exact history? Is that it?
You nailed it.
Yeah, pretty close. We So Colleen and I have been together since before I started disc golfing. So that was the one part you got. And then one day they were going to play a tournament, a Vibram Birdie Bash. I don't even know. Have you guys ever thrown a Vibram disc?
I've seen a few of them out there with the little yellow Vibram on them, but I've never thrown one.
Yeah, it's a rubber, not a plastic. So it's like this throwing the sole of your shoe, but it's actually really nice. But I was upset when they finally stopped making discs. But yeah, we had a Vibram Birdie Bash where you got 2 discs. You got I think a ridge and a lace, were what the discs were called, and that's what kind of pushed me through. So I played a Vibram Birdie Bash out in St. Thomas. No, it was London. It was London, similar but nearby. I played St. Thomas, and then honestly, I can't remember how badly it did. It was terrible, but because obviously terrible form and everything like that. But we got that going, and then me, Jeff, and Ronnie, and then eventually when I could convince Colleen to come out, we would be the ones driving around all the tournaments and going to all the leagues and everything like that. Neither of them really play that much anymore. I can get them out there every once in a while, but that's pretty much how we started from Ultimate, and then we came in to that was in 2014. What's that? We've been 12 years strong right now, where we've basically dedicated our whole summer every year for 12 years.
Nice.
Wow. Yeah.
Yeah, that's impressive.
Yeah. Do you remember, that's how you got started into it, and that's, going into your first tournament. Do you remember what moment it was when you kind of finally figured, okay, this is the sport for me. This is the thing that I'm going to keep doing?
So we would, I think where we started actually was we would go to White Spruce Club, and then shortly after Bronte Club, and that competitive atmosphere of random draw doubles, and you just go out there and you're playing against your best, and you're doing your better, and you're seeing all these other people competing. And I've always been a competitive person. I've played pretty high level rugby and some high school football, and I kept trying different sports. Unfortunately, I destroyed both my knees playing rugby. So anything like playing Ultimate, it was fun, but it wasn't going to last. Nothing with any sort of high-speed cutting like basketball or soccer or anything like that. So we got into like trampoline dodgeball and stuff.
I'm sure that was easier on the knees, right?
One surgery later, I stopped being on the trampolines.
Gotcha.
I'm actually forgetting what the question is. I got distracted.
What was that moment when disc golf that was your jam? That was what you were going to do?
Yeah, so I just needed a competitive outlet that didn't require me to be running and cutting and doing all these things, because I could never just like tone it down from 100%. Even when I tried, even Ultimate, when I was trying to just like run straight lines and not doing any cutting, it would never work out. I'd always try something stupid. So I did something that was competitive, and that's what the league at White Spruce and Bronte kind of gave to me, was a competitive ability to go out there and play sports. And
yeah,
gotcha.
No, that makes sense.
Yeah. Well, also, too, we've brought this one up before. You kind of mentioned that a sword was an early disc, and I know that might have been one of your first discs, but I want to know which disc was, we've used this term, which was your Gollum disc. So this was the one that you wrote your name on, the first one, the one you wouldn't lend out to anyone. You would have went to the depths of Mordor to save, the one that was yours, your precious. Which was that first disc, if you remember that one?
So I still have one in my bag. It's not the same one because I've lost it countless times, but I had a G-Star T-Bird right from the beginning, and I loved it. And it's like, right now it's my flippy T-Bird, so if I need something to go right or really straight in a tailwind, I'll do it. But it's a G-Star T-Bird, and it's always been a G-Star T-Bird, and I don't know why, but I just like it the way it feels and the way it flies. So I would say that was one of the early ones that I fell in love with.
Yeah, is the G stand for Gollum? Do you think, is it the Gollum Star T-Bird? No,
it's Gunnar from now on. Yeah, I don't know what it is about. Well, I know what it is because it's so grippy. People I throw it Innova only. People send to say, I've spoken to Brock before about when it comes to wintertime, a lot of the Champion plastic goes away and the G-Star comes out because it has that grip in the winter. But I found myself, I've just played recently, and I bought a G-Star Mystere for the winter, but actually it's finding its spot in my bag. I can rip on that thing, and the grip is just so good.
Well, there you go.
Yeah, the grip helps. It doesn't bounce as hard off of trees if you're playing a really aggressive course.
Yeah.
There's a lot of reasons to like it.
Yeah.
For sure.
Yeah. Well, if you look back to those early days, was there any disc golfers that you maybe had an influence on you, or maybe that they helped you with your game or helped you develop some way? Is there any people that stood out to you?
Yeah. So when I first started at Bronte, Chris Ollins was the president of Bronte. Still is.
Mm-hmm. We know him.
I think recently. So he was the first person. I remember the way we did at Bronte, we did 3 piles. You had a pro pile, a middle pile, and an amateur pile. And the amateur got matched up with a pro. That was your doubles partner. So I would always be playing with Chris Ollins or whomever else was in the pro pile at the time. So Chris definitely helped me, especially when we would go down to Arizona or Vegas or any of those other places to play in like those big A tiers or the national tours that they had. Mm-hmm. We would always go with them, and he really helped out a lot in sort of developing the way I played.
Yeah, and from the conversations we've had with him, and we know that other people we've spoken to, his name always comes up as a leader in the community and what he's doing with the ODSA and out that way. So yeah, I think definitely a great leader.
Does Oz get legend status? I think Oz. I think Oz might get legend status.
Might be a year or two yet.
He's got to get a couple more years under his belt.
You need that minimum age requirement, like the Hall of Fame.
Yeah, there it is. But he's well on his way. So, we recently had a chance to play with Trent Michaud. We were talking about that there. And we were shocked as we were just chatting with him. He said he has 45 aces. Now, Daryl, how many aces do you got?
I have 3 aces.
Okay. You got any unique stories about your aces?
Well, if we ever play out at Hermitage, I will tell everyone who on my card when we get to hole 13, that I've aced this hole twice.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
Yeah. So that's your kind of story.
That's
your claim
my story.
to fame is that you've aced it, and it was with the same, not the exact same disc, but the same mold, was it?
It was the same mold. Both were the rock. Yeah.
Yeah.
Different discs, but both were rocks.
Yeah. And so, Chris, we do a bunch of our research, and one of the things that we heard that a guy might have a good story about getting an ace at a place called Ficklewood. Do you know anything about that? Could you tell us about how that all went down?
Oh boy. Okay. So Ficklewood is trying to explain this properly. So Ficklewood is a tournament. It's not sanctioned. Everybody camps there, and you are kind of like everybody's there for a good time. Mm-hmm. So whether you like to drink or whatever you do, just everybody's there, everybody's safe. But so I was quite a few beers in.
Okay.
And there was this one hole. It's about 220 feet over water the entire way, with OB 20 feet behind the basket, and it was on a marksman. Okay. So that's one of the really skinny ones.
Yeah.
And it's in the middle of summer, or actually the middle of September, so it's pretty warm. But I threw my drive, and it was very clearly just went right by the chains, and I knew it was OB out the back. And I had a mulligan for this particular tournament. It was just, again, something you could purchase for whatever, or for volunteering and stuff like that.
Yeah.
So I had a mulligan, so I opted to take that mulligan. And I set it provisional on it being OB out the back, which was interesting. So it had to be OB out the back in order for me to case it. And then I threw my second one, and it hit dead center on the marksman and aced. At that point, I decided to run and jump off the end of the dock into the water. And they had while they're there, there's a guy called Mr. B, who's a legend in his own right in Ontario. Anyone around here knows who he is. But he had a microphone and a DJ stand going, just blaring music to the whole property. So I was right next to him, so I ran over there, got on the mic, started yelling over the mic. We then had to make a walk all the way around the pond to see if my first drive was actually OB. So the most nerve-wracking, 300-foot walk around this pond to make sure that we got the ace or not. That was my Ficklewood ace story. I'd say there was another 10 holes left, and I don't really remember much of it.
So was your first throw OB?
Oh, it was so far OB.
Oh, okay.
I almost
I thought you were going to tell us that it didn't count or something like that because it wasn't
No.
OB. Yeah. Okay.
No, it was a good 60 feet up. I don't know what I was doing on that first attempt.
Well, we've heard
That's
stories
awesome.
of running down an ace.
Yeah.
We had a guy locally. We were at a course on a disc golf or on a ball golf course, and he drove down an ace in a golf cart. That was Matt Wildman.
Okay.
But I've never heard of someone swimming down an ace. So that's pretty cool.
That's awesome.
Yeah, I love it.
Yeah.
So Chris, if we kind of go back through some of the courses and some of the places you've played in the past, like we were looking through your PDGA, and you've played everywhere in Canada, from PEI on one end of the country all the way out to BC on the other one. You've dropped down into New York. You've gone to Las Vegas and Phoenix as well. If you're looking back at all the places you've played and competed so far, what would your top three be? And it doesn't have to, kind of if it's outside of Ontario, let's take Ontario out of it. Where are the top three places that you've gone to play?
Sure. So Colleen and I went down to the 2019 Pro Worlds in Peoria, Illinois.
Okay.
Where in 2019 the MPO field played Northwoods Gold, not Northwoods Black, the new one, but Northwoods Gold, the previous edition, and then Eureka Lake, and then I think the FPO went Northwoods Gold into Sunset Hills.
Okay.
For that particular world, and that was the first time I got to see like a true, like I've been down to obviously Fountain Hills from the Memorial, and Las Vegas Challenge and a few of the more northern Michigan, New York tournaments. But this was the first one where I got to see like everything as it is as far as Worlds is concerned, and that was probably one of my best experiences. But it was funny because Northwoods Gold was one of my favorite courses at the time. It was incredibly difficult, but it was pretty fair at the same time. Now, I haven't played Northwoods Black, so I don't know how much they change it to make it impossible.
Yeah.
But then you went over to Eureka Lake, and that might be one of my least favorite courses of all time, which is terrible to have in the same room.
Is it? You have to remind me. Is Eureka Lake? Is that the one that's got the big water tower, or am I thinking of somewhere else?
No, that's right. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, the big water tower, OB everywhere. If you go OB, you go 20 feet forward to a drop zone.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, it was pretty unforgiving. If you weren't throwing perfect shots, you were taking extra strokes. So,
Yeah.
Gotcha.
Everybody gets such good ratings there if they're just keeping it in bounds.
Yeah, if you can throw putters straight down the middle, then maybe it makes for boring but productive golf kind of thing.
Not even that. There's a lot of like OB clearing. You have to throw over water, or the particular shot is a 400-foot hyzer, which at the time, even now, I don't have. So it's just one of those things where if you don't have the skill set to play there, then you're not going to do well.
Right.
Gotcha.
Such a juxtaposition of playing a course that the Northwoods Gold, which is a course that you really like, to the course that is probably your least favorite course.
Yeah. Because Northwoods Gold, and it's a lot different than it is now, but it was very fair. Like if you threw a straight shot, you had you can get up and down for your birdie or your par pretty easily. There was very little OB, and it was just fair. I really appreciate that. It really made me appreciate that. So moving past that, that was probably my best experience. I went to PEI twice. The first time was in 2018, I want to say.
Okay.
And then we got to play Hillcrest and Huckett. Unbelievable courses. Huckett was so raw at that time. It was when I first showed up. I showed up the week before the event. I got there pretty early. And Charlie, I hopefully got his name right. And Ben were sitting just at the hut, like the starter hut. And I asked him how to play. You pay your $10 whatever that, and then you go out there. And all throughout the course, he had set up burn piles. It was in the middle of the fairway, just like big 10-foot fire that I was throwing over while I was trying to practice the course. It was quite an experience.
Getting some good air bumps maybe from the heat as you went over top of them, or
I was definitely worried about losing some of my discs, so they were going to be gone if they were on some of these discs. But
Yeah.
the hunting is something else.
That's awesome.
Cool. So that gives us two. That gives us down to Worlds, out to PEI. What would you put as your third one?
It's a good question. I've played a bunch of places. I really liked Toboggan, but it was exhausting. I think it was 30-something degrees and up and down the hills. But that was fun. But I don't really think. I think probably going down to Australia, and we got to play that A tier the following week on the same course. Those courses were pretty fantastic for something that really didn't have much to model off of. There was not a lot of championship level courses in Western Australia. So the fact that they could put that all together and make it happen, it was quite impressive.
Right. And if I remember right, was that Australia course, was that when they tried to do holes of the world, I guess, to frame it that way, where they tried to take popular holes and get a reasonable facsimile, kind of like when kids with cereal boxes back in the day or something?
Raptors Knoll was one of the courses, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah, but they did. They tried their best.
Yeah.
By my experience, I didn't really see the resemblance, but I did appreciate that they just sort of took a bunch of national courses from other countries and just tried their best to make it, give you a little thing of home, especially when you have so many countries coming to play your event.
Yeah.
Yeah. It was the Wish 18.
Oh, is that what it was? yeah, the Wish.
You heard that, right? Yeah, the Wish.
So, Chris, also, too, when I was looking, because PDGA, sometimes you can dive deep and you can see cards and rounds and stuff like that. What I couldn't see was when you went down to the Las Vegas Challenge in 2020, I couldn't blow it up to the cards in that, but it did look like there were some big names at that event when you went down and you played MPO. Did you get on the cards with any pros that you'd always wanted to meet or anything like that?
Nothing at Las Vegas or anything like that, but I did play with a few people. Like I played with Chandler Fry. He was honestly one of the nicest people I've ever met.
Yeah.
I played with Connor O'Reilly. I played with a few other people, but a lot of the times when you go down to these big events, at least back then when they kind of had uncapped space, they would kind of separate you into like a and B pool.
Okay.
So if you're in the A pool, you really never, unless you played your way into the A pool, you never really had a chance
Right.
to play with like the big names.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, Chandler Fry's quite the name because when he won the BC Open.
Yeah. We interviewed him and spoken to Connor O'Reilly before out at Nationals, as we've said many times. So it's nice now that these names are coming up and people that we can actually say, yeah, we've spoken to them and we agree that they are actually great people. Yeah.
Yeah.
Well,
Chandler came up, played the first Nationals in PEI, so that's where I got to play with them, and then I played with them again in Michigan.
Okay.
Nice. Yeah. Did he remember you? And we can you remember back in the day, one of our earlier episodes where we spoke to Brian Fries, and he said that whenever he would go down, I think it was it Will Schustrick that would always say, "Hey, Canada,"
it was Cale maybe.
Oh, Cale LaVisca, yeah. Did Chandler remember who you were? Did he call you Canada?
No, he actually blew me away when I saw him the second time. He's like, "Oh, Mr. Brown, how's it going?" And I was
oh, wow.
Kind of surprised me. I did not expect that at all. We played one round together in 2018, and it was 22. I think I played with him again, and he knew me right away. So
that's awesome.
Did you give him the old "Mr. Brown is my dad, call me Brownie," something like that, or?
No, I promise you I did not.
That's fair.
Awesome.
Well, those three events, you got the 2019 Worlds PEI playing out there, Toboggan. They all seem like great places and great courses to play. But if there was somewhere that you haven't played, or a bucket list course or a tournament, is there one on your list that that you're just dying to play?
I mean, like I would always love to go down to play Maple Hill. For some reason, I haven't done it yet. It's only, I think, 8 hours from me driving, so I don't know. I haven't been able to make it down there, but Maple Hill would be fantastic. I would love to go out to Finland or something like that and get some of those courses, like the Beast or anything like that. I think they would just kick my butt.
That's part of the fun.
Yeah,
It's
yeah,
supposed
we
to
gotta-
be.
It's supposed to, yeah.
just to see how you stack up against
Yeah.
the top pro down there.
Yeah. Cool.
I would
Well,
say
if we
that's good.
Yeah, I was gonna say if we go to your 2026 season, because it's kind of just starting out for us, like we're just getting ready to play some of our first tournaments, but you've already got 6 events under your belt. You've been top 10 in all of them. So is your season kind of going the way you wanted it to go so far? How does your game feel right now? Is it where you want it to be?
So I was feeling really good through the winter. So kind of from the end of the season through until February or so, I was feeling great. I was playing some of my best golf, even in the winter, even in the cold. And then we run a series, inter-club series up here. It's 4 clubs, so it's White Spruce, Bronte, Toronto Island, and Centennial Park. So we do 1 match at each course. It's called the GTA Cup, and it's a match play. So it's a match play series between you just take your 14 players and you pair them up and throw them against another team, and it's all points series. Anyways, we played 4 matches this winter, and they landed on 4 of the worst weekends of the year. So on the Bronte event, I think it was projected to be like, and I'm complaining about the cold because I'm from Edmonton, so apologize. I think it was projected to be something like minus 25. So it was cold, like very cold for Ontario. It doesn't get that cold here very often. But so we still like plugged through it, and then like the Scarlet Woods day was also terrible. And in one of those days, I managed to strain a ligament in my index finger on my throwing hand.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. So it started last year a little bit, but in one of those really cold days, it kind of just went, and then I had to completely modify my grip ever since then, or else it would be agonizing pain. So I've had to completely change up my grip, and it's not really affecting my throw too much. It's just mentally trying to think about it, and I really have not played how I was playing at the beginning of the year lately. So I'm getting it back, but it is tough.
Yeah. Well, it's early now, so lots of time to get that back before we really get into the heart of it. And I'll tell you, it was really nice and kind of you saying, speaking of cold to Edmonton guys, but being a guy who grew up in London, Ontario, you guys are right on the Great Lakes there, and the humidity that you get, minus 25 for you, minus 40 for us. It's even Steven when you get down there. As soon as it gets cold, it's just cold.
Yeah.
So yeah. Well, we just had a question and you kind of answered it. Gabe Robinson in the chat wanted to know how your finger was, so you answered that perfectly, and that kind of leads us perfectly into the next question. Is we saw that you were lucky enough to head up to Peterborough area to play the P15 Open this year. That for me, when I played out at Nationals, that was one of my favorite courses. I'm sure you'd say the same, Jeremy. How is that course looking now? How does it rank in a list of your favorite courses in your area?
So the other podcast in Ontario, am I allowed to, I guess?
Yeah, of course. Yeah, you could talk about Robbie and Shani G.
Yeah, Rob, Shani G, and then Galen. I'll give him the odd shout out, even though he hasn't been on a show in a year. But they run like a podcast, like a voting thing every year. For like top courses in Ontario, and P15 always wins, and I always put P15 as the number 1 on my thing. So P15 is my favorite course in Ontario. Yeah. As far as like playability and everything that Gabe does for the property.
What do you say? Obviously the screensaver hole, having the tree limb come across, that's one that everybody loves. Is that your favorite, or do you have a different hole that kind of stands out for you out there?
I really like that hole 4 is the one you're talking about with the goalkeeper. That one is really fun. But,
yeah, the goalkeeper.
Yeah. The hole 16 is actually my favorite. It's like a downhill throw that turns right the whole time, and I just love. I don't throw very many forehands, so that hyzer flip to drift right is my favorite shot in disc golf. So I just love seeing the disc fly down the hill and just keep drifting out of view. If you remember hole 16.
No, that one is good. Like the thing for us was, I remember when we got out there, Chris, that we played the first round, and I was just kind of like, Daryl's like, "What are you doing, man?" Because I was just kind of strolling behind and just looking all around. And I don't think I've ever felt as much with nature as I have on that course. Even though all of our courses are in nature, it's just something about the way the landscape is and the Canadian Shield and everything. It's just like it feels like another place.
Yeah, it really does. We don't get too much. You don't get a property like that very often to build a disc golf course on.
Yeah.
So the fact that he, allowed it to happen, and then is such a warden and really develops the course to be, in his vision, what he wants, and it's such a pleasure. And there's no way we can get that in like a public park and like that without his dedication. So
no,
yeah,
agreed.
Going back to an earlier comment about aces, hole 4 is my favorite hole because I almost aced it.
Yeah.
Just putting that back out there again. Yeah.
And he totally batted above your rating, like huge. You were like 900 rated for nationals last year when you played.
I don't like to talk about it, but yeah, I was over 900 rated.
Hey, I talk about caddying for Sophia. You can talk about your 900 nationals.
Yeah.
Really good.
Yeah.
That course is tough. All those courses were tough.
Yeah.
I haven't played as many courses in Canada as you have, or as a lot of people, but I have played a variety of courses. I haven't just played in Alberta, and P15 is my number one.
Yeah, for sure. Well, that kind of gives you where you've started this year, but you've also got 6 more tournaments so far on your schedule, including 2 of the Canadian A tiers, the DEP Open and Canadian National Championships. You played DEP Open last year, even in all that crazy weather. And what are your thoughts on that course? And do you got any tips? Because we're going to be thinking, well, Nationals is next year. Is anything that we should really be practicing and honing our skills on for Dieppe?
So Dieppe is phenomenal. Luke does a great job there with the way he runs that tournament. And the course itself, even though it's in like a community park, they seem to have free reign and to kind of design it as they will. So it's just very impressive that they can build such a championship level course without having like the courses around it giving inspiration. I know like they have Hillcrest, which I think is 45 minutes away. So like they've all developed off of this one core of like, this is what a disc golf course should look like. And it's always long and tight, but always fairways, kind of long shots. There's a few wide open shots, but then you get into the woods where you have to kind of manipulate some shots. It's actually really well designed, and I've heard there's a lot of good changes coming this year from Luke himself. So I don't know what that means, but the course itself is just. I think last year it was flooded, which doesn't give us a good indication. But since we're going back, something had to be right. So.
Yes. Yeah, I would think so. And I think when we talked to Luke as well, it was kind of a good test for him. He almost was happy that they got the weather they did last year because they found out that where those areas that would flood, and within a day they had them draining and were ready. So you're right. The way that Luke is all planned, the fact that he's a dispatcher type guy who's got a radio in his ear and he's chatting the whole time, like it's an air traffic control center when Luke's on the case. So.
Did you go last year? I don't think you did.
No, we didn't get a chance, but I'm coming out next year for sure. And then I would really like to, as you said, with Hillcrest only being 45 minutes away, is have a few extra days to kind of hit some of Ben's other courses and maybe see if I can even climb Wentworth, let alone play it. So if Simon had trouble with it, I don't know how I'll do.
Yeah.
So. Yeah, Don't put yourself and Simon in the same sentence. Well,
you're much better than he is.
Yes. Oh, why? Thank you.
Well, talking of nationals, with nationals being held in Alberta this year, when we talked about it on the podcast, we weren't sure how many people would come out west to play. But it's been so good that when we've looked at the people registering, we've got people from Ontario, Nova Scotia, Quebec. We've even seen some people from Colorado and Minnesota making the trip out as well. What made you decide to make the trip out to Alberta this summer?
Colleen and I have been trying to push like competitive disc golf in Canada as much as we could. So we tried to advertise like you should go to nationals because it is your Canadian nationals. So it doesn't really matter where it is. We're always going to try and get there. Nationals has a lot. We respect Canada as a whole, trying to build this competitive thing. So we want to support Canada as a whole in their national championship. We've been to the last 4, I think, in a row. I can't really remember. But
I've got them memorized for you, maybe a few of them. So you got to Thunder Bay.
Yes.
You got to Clearwater.
I did.
Yeah, and you got to Ontario last year. I only got 3 of them. I don't know what was before Thunder Bay. It might have been PEI before Thunder Bay, but I'm not sure.
Might have been PEI.
Was it PEI before that?
Or it could have been maybe the satellite one. It might have been before that one. I'm not sure.
2021, we had the satellite.
Yeah.
In which I did go to P15 for our satellite.
Oh, okay.
Which is helpful. And then before that was 2019 in PEI, and then 2018 in PEI. So we've been to a lot of them, and I just think it's important to, as much as you can, get your best players in Canada going to the nationals to make it prestigious, to make it worthwhile, to make people feel like it's something to win.
Yes. This is music to my ears. It sounds like Colleen and Chris have the same feelings I do. I really want to get to the point, Chris, where we've got a Western champion and an Eastern champion, and it's like a showdown when they show up together at nationals. Like, I'd love to see it there. I know it takes a lot of time and a lot of effort, and I should just do it myself, as Craig Sheether would tell me. But I do want to see it get to that point as well.
When you head out this way, are you planning on making a full trip out of it, or are you going to spend some time kind of moving around and taking in some other places, or is it just going to be a kind of a quick in and out for nationals?
I think for this nationals, it's going to be a quick in and out. Like, we'll be there for the week, but I don't think much more, because we're doing DIAP in a couple weeks, and then right after DIAP I get back, and then I'm TDing a tournament, so I have 2 weeks I have to take off there. Then I have the week for nationals, and then we have 3 weeks we have to go for Lithuania. So it's just like, it may not be a time where we can take an extra week to visit everything up in northern Alberta.
Yeah.
It's I feel so happy on the podcast when you ask a question and it leads perfectly into the next one. It's so awesome. Speaking of your trip to Lithuania, last year, or a couple of years ago actually, you headed down to Australia to support Team Canada at the WFDF Disc Golf Team Championships. You also came on the show live from Australia to connect with us while that was all happening.
One of the coolest things, hey, Daryl, was having Karen and Chris.
We've interviewed so many people, Olympians, Hall of Famers, that I think is still far and above our, well, at least for me, the best experience on the podcast. To be able to connect to you guys down in Australia, to support Team Canada, back here. And
to be the way the time
it was
just
live,
worked.
The time, it was just everything. Everything was perfect. So
and then I think as Colleen and Sophia jumped in, they just finished
exactly. We interviewed yourself and Karen through most of the interview, and then, like you said, Colleen and Sophia jumped in at the end, and it was perfect. How did you enjoy all that experience down there? I know we touched on it earlier.
Yeah, I think so. I went to Australia 2 years ago, and then 2 years before that we went to Croatia, and I was with them as well.
Mm-hmm.
And it's honestly just a great experience, like the camaraderie of I'm sure, as you were talking with Trent, just going down with your team, like for Team Canada with him in the Olympics, going down with your team, to a lesser extent going down to the WFDF Championship with your whole Canadian team. You're all there for one thing, and it's just nice with the camaraderie and the competition. Everything makes you feel just really proud of yourself for being there.
Absolutely. Speaking of the championships, you mentioned previously it was in Croatia, then it's on Australia. You mentioned it's going to be back this year. It'll be back it's going to Lithuania. But you're not just going as a supporter this year. You're actually going to be a part of Team Canada as a member. How exciting is that for you?
Yeah, so that was, I was just a caddy the 2 years before, like you said, just go there, help out wherever you can. I kind of made sure, I kind of took it upon myself to learn all the rules and understand. So if anyone had any questions, I could help out anybody who asked. This time, it's kind of funny the way it all went down. So Colleen is on the WFDF, CanDisc competition committee and being able to pick the team.
Yeah.
So you're on the team, and I'm like, what? What are you saying? So I don't think with the competition, like the people we're sending with, like, yeah, I don't know how much I'm going to play. Like, if I just play one match, I'll be super happy about it. But, you know, if you have the option between, like, Thomas Gilbert, Max Gitnig, Chris Ollins, you know, Higgins, those are all top-tier players. So I don't think I'll be playing too many gold medal matches.
Yeah,
absolutely.
no, that will be cool for sure. And I think, you know, like you said, you got that close-up bird's eye view before from a different viewpoint. And when you were looking at it and you saw in Australia how the team aspect works, have you got any ideas of how to approach the game different when you go to the WFDF side of it? Or is it pretty much you're matched up, this is your round? Or is there something that you would do different at a team event versus a singles competition like we would play here?
So we're lucky that we've been doing our GTA Cup for the last 6-7 years. So Colleen and I are the captains of Team Bronte. We know all like the strategies and everything like that. It's all match play anyway, so we get a lot of practice for match play, and it's all match play, all shot map play, singles play, match play in the WFDF championships. So we understand the benefits of certain things and how to shake off a bad hole, because it's really only worth 1 point. So just we understand the strategy of it, and we've had so much experience, like all of us in Southern Ontario, or at least the GTA, even the South, because there's the GTA Cup and there's the SWO Cup, with the Southwestern Ontario Cup, and it incorporates like all the best players in Ontario, minus like Barrie and Ottawa, like the northern or eastern. So like everybody in Southern Ontario is very well versed in match play. Okay. And I think that because like Thomas Gilbert this year was playing for Toronto Island, so he knows match play just as well as anybody else. So having that experience and knowing how, like, what you have to do, and sometimes you don't need the birdie if you see your opponent just hit the first tree and kicked OB. So knowing how to tone that down is very helpful.
Yeah.
Yeah, it makes sense.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, when we asked you about nationals, or whether it was going to be a get in, get out, or you're going to explore a little bit, you mentioned that it might just be in and out. But for Lithuania, heading all that way over to Europe, are you kind of planning to use that as a bit more of a bit of a vacation as well? You're planning on touring Europe a bit over there?
We're still trying to plan that all. Like, I would love to just, like, I've always wanted to go to kind of the Northern Europe, like make our way up to Finland maybe would be awesome.
Yeah.
It's just about figuring out the logistics of it all. So we have almost a full week. We have almost a full week of competition. So we start practicing on Sunday or something like that. Then we start on Tuesday, and then we go all the way until Saturday. So that's a full week. We are committed to just disc golfing for the tournament. So if we show up like 4 days before that, that means we have maybe like 7 days after that, and then like where can we go in 7 days, and then still make it back for a flight. So it's we still have to figure out our plan and all that stuff, but we're definitely going to do something.
Yeah. Well, I think when we talked to Oz, he says he's got some family up in the close area. And then also we know that Max has been up in that area as well too. So between the two of them, if there's a way to do it and get in and out, I'm sure you've got all the help to make it happen.
I think Max played like professional volleyball in Sweden or Norway or something like that.
Yeah, out in Sweden for sure. Yeah. So, no, good stuff. Well, you know, we've talked a ton. We're kind of getting closer to the end, Daryl.
Yeah.
And we talked a lot about traveling, right? We talked about the memorial in Phoenix. We talked about the Las Vegas Challenge. So that's out there in Nevada.
Yeah.
And then Chris is coming out to Alberta in nationals. All these places, you know, I love to teach you stuff.
Okay.
They're all just on the eastern edge of the Canadian Rockies.
Okay, yeah.
And the thing about that area, and it doesn't matter whether you're way down south or if you're closer up to where we are, it's kind of a dry, it's arid. Some would almost say it's a desert-like environment.
Oh, really?
Yeah, so, speaking of deserts.
Yeah.
Now it's time for desert island discs. Picture this. You've taken a relaxing cruise, however the ship goes down. You manage to swim to an island, and fortunately for you, there's an 18-hole disc golf course. Which 3 discs are you taking with you on the island?
Yeah, it's that time of the show, Chris, where we want to find out your desert island discs. You're on this cruise. You're heading somewhere exotic. The ship went down. You managed to grab your bag that had your 3 trusty discs in it, and you swam to this island. Which 3 discs are you playing on the island?
So I've heard so many different way people have answered this, and I was trying to think about how I was going to do it. But no, I think I'm just going to go logical and not try to I think I remember somebody making a bowl or something like that.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think Jacob recently didn't he?
He did. Yeah.
He had a glitch as a bowl or something like that. Poor cat.
Well,
assume I'm well stocked
yeah.
I'm well stocked and everything I need for camping gear, and I just want to play disc golf.
There you go.
So I you think you have to go. You don't have to, but I think the smart thing is the putter, mid-range, driver, fairway, whatever you want to go is the smart way to go. So let's start with my favorite throwing putter is the AVR X3.
Okay.
The overseas putter from Innova, Big Germ, made popular for a while there.
Yeah. And what plastic? I always like to know the plastics.
So it's hard because I find the Star ones ridiculously overstable, like too overstable. So it's hard to find, but I really only throw the Proto Star ones. I bought 3 or 4 when they first came out, and I just keep every time I lose one, a new one goes in.
Right.
So it's it is Star, but it was the Proto ones just flew a little straighter, and then so that would be a throwing putter. You could putt with it, but I guess whatever. Who needs to putt? No one's keeps.
You throw them in from 100 feet away. You don't need to putt.
Right. Yeah. That's actually the disc I aced on the marksman with is the AVR X3. So
Of course it's got to come.
Perfect.
Yeah.
Yeah. There's that, and then the mid range is the Thought Space Pathfinder.
Okay. Yes, the Pathy. Always a Pathy. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. That's my go-to mid range for straight shots or shot shaping and manipulating and stuff like that. And then I couldn't go anywhere without a T-bird. T-birds are just the way to go.
And it'd be a G-Star plastic, I'll tell you. Is that right? Yeah.
Yeah.
Definitely could be. Yes. On a desert island, probably would get a little warm, but that's okay.
Yeah, you wouldn't need. Well, maybe you would need the grip. So we've got the Proto Star AVR X3. Sorry, I didn't hear what mold.
Well, we didn't get to a plastic, but we got to the Thought Space Pathfinder.
Yeah. And then potentially a G-Star T-Bird.
Yeah.
The follow-up question to this, if you could take any course that you've played, or maybe it's a course that you haven't played, it can be a bucket list course. If you could transport a course to the island that you'd have to play infinitum?
Infinitely? Or you're right. There's something like that, yeah.
With those 3 discs, which would it be?
Okay.
This is always the question that puts people on the spot.
Yeah, I'm trying to course that has a lot of fruit trees on it, just so I could snack while I play.
Those New Zealand courses, wasn't it?
That's the practical side coming through.
Yes. What's that one? What's that one called? Yes. What's that one?
The Orchard? Wasn't it the Orchard?
Yeah.
I think it was just called the Orchard. Yeah.
With all the plums.
Yeah, because at Brawny we have one pear tree that gets absolutely destroyed as the summer goes along because people just keep picking from it. But I love eating those pears, so I'm gonna bring them up to me.
That's awesome. See, so there he is. He was still being utilitarian, just not on the discs.
Exactly.
He used the course as that.
There you go.
I like it.
Love it.
I don't know how those trees will do in the desert, but we'll figure that out when it gets there.
That's right. Maybe it's like an Alberta desert. Maybe it's a little bit different.
This fictitious island on this fictitious cruise can be anything we want it to be.
With this desert that gets just enough rain to keep the fruit trees growing.
Exactly.
Oh, awesome. Well, Chris, that brings us to the end of the interview. But before we let you go, we want to give you a moment to shout out. We don't know if you got any sponsors going right now or if there was anything else you wanted to mention or anybody out there you wanted to shout out. Now's your time.
Okay. Thank you. I don't have any sponsors. Not really something I'm really looking for. So it helps us get there and back and survive. So I would say that would be our best thing. Look at the CanDiscs notifications or something like that.
Thing about it when it comes out, we'll be sure to shout it out at the top of show and make sure everyone knows.
Will do.
Yeah.
Awesome.
Well, we appreciate you for joining us on the podcast tonight. Thanks for taking the time, and we're excited. I've already registered for nationals, so you'll see me up there, and we'll have a beverage, and we can plan how Canadian nationals just gets even better. We'll plan to take over the world with it.
Yeah, make it the prestigious event of North America.
That's it.
As it should be.
And then we'll lock all the U.S. pros out because they'll just want to come, but they won't be able to. They'll be so jealous.
Right.
There you go.
Yeah, it'll be good.
Start selling Canadian passports.
Yeah, that's it. Sweet.
Perfect. Awesome. Well, thanks for your time, Chris. We'll see you again soon, and we enjoyed having you on the podcast.
Thank you.
Awesome.
Well, there you go.
Yeah.
We had another amazing guest, and I'm starting to see a trend here.
Okay.
Chris, we knew he's a great guy to chat with. We've chatted with him a few times. We've seen him out at nationals.
Yeah.
Always good that way. But there's something about Chris's in disc golf. You got Chris Hartman making big waves out in Western Canada.
Yeah.
You got Chris O'Zollins, another great Chris, and now you got Chris Brown. So all great peeps, and now all guests of the Chain Out podcast.
All friends of the show.
Yeah. Which is the next Chris that we're going to bring on? I don't know.
Stay tuned.
You have to see.
Yeah.
Or maybe we'll just call somebody Chris. Welcome, Thomas Christopher Gilbert, or something like that. Well, this is the time of the show where we need a secret word. And why do we need a secret word, Daryl?
Because this is the secret word portion of the show where we ask you for a secret word. Because we like you to give us a secret word and then drop it in the comments. Let us know that you've listened to this listen to this point in the video. If you have listened this length, I don't know what I'm saying, Jeremy.
Well, I would say, when we get to the secret word, it's mainly because it helps us know you got this far. You're in the know. You're a Chain Out listener. You got to the end. And I'm thinking, when we're talking about words and talking about Chris Brown there, I think Ficklewood, because I've never heard of Ficklewood before. That might be one. Maybe something about running off a pier to run down an ace. Throw something like that in there.
Marksman.
Yeah, maybe.
We have a few. We have a Sam nominates infinitum.
Oh, yes.
Beaver tail.
Okay.
That's a great word. We're just going to put that in there.
Yeah, there could also be Bronte, of course. That would be an easy one. Just kind of a shout out for the club.
Yeah, exactly.
Maybe the 0-turn John Deere lawnmower. I don't know.
Yeah. Flippy G-Star, T-Bird. Anything that you've heard us say. Drop it. And even if you haven't listened this far, I guess you won't know. But
that'd be the secret. You haven't. Also,
please leave a comment and subscribe because it does help us a lot.
Yes,
Mulligan
for sure.
from Colleen.
That's another good one for sure. Yeah, leave one of those there. And while you're at it, check our YouTube out. Make sure to subscribe. Getting more subscribers. Yeah, it has. Certainly helps us out and helps us keep growing. We're 129 episodes deep and we want to go 129 more and bring you more guests and lots of good conversations. So do us a favor and subscribe, like, follow, comment, all those things to help us get our name out there. It was really flattering when Luke told us that Dallas Garber had said he thought we were really fun and funny and would rather listen to us than Tour Life, I think he said, or maybe Brody specifically. But
I think he did maybe call out Brody, but yeah.
Yeah, or maybe just in general is that, it was good. So if you guys can help us get the word out, that's great.
Nationals.
Nationals is a good one.
Nationals is another great shout from Crouch.
P15, of course, too.
P15.
So also, too, if you want to support us, you can head over to Patreon. We got many levels, including free. If you support us at a paid level, you get discounts on our merch that's going to be dropping soon. You get to free entry into all of our contests. You get to hear about secret, not secret, but you get to hear about special cards that we have. Oh, yeah, behind the scenes when we talk to people like Nate Sexton and do interviews.
I had a message from somebody, one of our Patreon subscribers.
Okay.
They have tried the code Chain Out, and it doesn't work.
For which?
for our jerseys.
Did they put a space?
No,
Okay.
all one word.
All right. We'll get back to them. We'll get it figured.
Try it. If you are trying the code, try chain out all lowercase, try all uppercase. I think it automatically, I think it's case sensitive, or not case sensitive, should I say. But try it with a space, try it without a space.
And
But
we
will
appreciate the
find out.
support, and we'll make sure you get
Yeah.
covered
So
that way.
if you try it and it doesn't work, just leave it in your basket and we'll get it fixed.
Yep. We'll get her done. And then join us for Around the Basket. We're going to do those fantasy picks for Foxwood Open and Spring Runoff with the creator of the Chain Out Podcast website, Dylan Froelich. He's a
Yeah.
Patreon member.
And you have to send him the link because he's saying that it's not working. But
Oh,
send
yeah.
Send him a new link so he can join.
We will certainly do that and get him on here as we wrap up. But we cannot wrap up
Is that the end of
without
it?
drapping up.
Do we have to?
Do you got the picture? No, we can't just throw up the
Oh,
picture.
I don't have the picture this week. I will load it in. I
Yeah,
was
we
going to
gotta,
do that.
and then we got to put we've got to lay some beats down.
We
behind it.
do. Put it on the list.
All right,
Send me an
all right.
email.
Are you ready? Best part of the show.
Okay. You ready? Sonia's been saying for like the last 3 minutes that the drop is coming.
It's here. It is here.
It's here. It's time. Okay. It's the time of the show where we like to have some fun.
Like DJ Khaled, we're back with another one.
Some say these are awesome, and that's no cap.
Daryl and Jeremy spitting rhymes with a red hot drop.
Tonight's guest played disc golf the world around.
One of Ontario's best, and his name is Chris Brown.
He's played 6 events so far, and he's always top 10.
He'll be coming out for nationals, and we'll do it again.
With fans across the country, it's Brownie Mania.
He'll be representing Team Canada out in Lithuania.
Drapping gets us excited, and we don't mean to shout.
Keep practicing your putting so you don't chain out.
Thanks, everybody. We hope you enjoyed it.
See you next time.
When my buttons work.
LOL.
Bye.